afternoon and welcome to Lights and Shadows, a new musical adaptation of Dickens' Christmas Carol. We are delighted to have you with us for this special celebration of music, storytelling, and the spirit of the festive season. We are honored to present two exceptional artists whose talent brings this work to life. Please join me in welcoming again at the Hellenic Centre, singer and actress Elena Hadjiafksenti, whose expressive voice and theatrical artistry will guide us through this fabulous tale, and pianist Christos Fountos, whose musical vision and masterful playing offer a rich tapestry of sound and emotion. You can find more about Elena and Christos on the leaflet. Together, Elena and Christos invite us on a journey that blends musical heritage from the Hellenic region with classical influences and imaginative storytelling. Inspired by the beloved story of a Christmas Carol, this newly conceived performance explores themes of compassion, hope, and personal redemption through original compositions, festive musical arrangements, improvisation, and evocative narration. Whether you are here with your family, with friends, or simply embracing the magic of the season, we hope this evening fills your heart with warmth and wonder. Light and Shadows is a reminder of the enduring power of God's kindness. Before we begin, just a few housekeeping notes. If the fire alarm sounds, this is your fire exit. If you find yourself elsewhere in the building, just follow the instructions of the staff. If you would like to learn more about our events at the Hellenic Centre, please leave your email at the reception on your way out to join our mailing list. And finally, please switch off your phones or put them on silent mode. And thank you for joining us this afternoon. Please relax and enjoy the performance. Thank you.
There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, a magic day, he passed my way. And as we spoke of many things fools and kings. This he said to me. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. My fellow passengers, this ghostly little story is to raise the ghost of an idea which shall not put us out of humor with ourselves, with each other, with the season, or with me. May it haunt our houses pleasantly, and no one of us wishes to lay it. This is a story for us to remember that no one is useless in this world who lightens the burden of another soul. No one is useless in this world who lightens the burden of another soul. December 1843, London. It is quite dark because darkness is cheap, light is expensive, love is a fraud, money is power. The workhouses are useful, and Christmas is humbug. But death, my fellow passengers, is always around. And Marley was dead to begin with. His sole assign, his sole friend and sole mourner was Scrooge. A squeezing, retching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Hard and sharp as flint, self-contained, solitary as an oyster, and spoke out shrewdly his grating voice. No earth could warm, no winter weather chill him, no wind that blew was bitterer than him. Scrooge knew that Marley was dead. Yes, he did. I repeat, Marley was, as William Shakespeare will say, dead as a doornail. Christmas Eve, 1843. On Christmas Eve, the veils between this world and the other thin out. Once upon a time, old Scrooge sat busy in his county house. It was cold, bleak, foggy, biting weather. The city clocks had only just gone 3, but it was quite dark enough. Scrooge's nephew, Fred, enters.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You are poor enough. Humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas. Out upon Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer?
Uncle, Christmas is the only time I know of when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and to think of people below them as if they really were fellow passengers to the grave, and not another race of creatures bound on other journeys. So I say, God bless it.
I'm back.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. Why cannot be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last, Uncle. So, I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Χριστούγεννα ευτυχισμένα, ολόλευκα ονειρεμένα, αγάπη μέσα στην καρδιά και χρόνια πολλά. Καινούρια χρόνια, ανοίξτε πανιά, ελπίδες σας φέρνει η νέα χρονιά.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I'm back. Fred left. Later on, two portly gentlemen with their hats off stood in Scrooge's office. They had books and pens in their hands and they bowed to him.
Have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago, this very night.
Oh, then Mr. Scrooge, at this festive season of the year, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at present, sir.
Are there no prisons and workhouses?
Plenty. Both very busy, sir. A few of us are raising funds to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. What shall I pull you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you ask me what I wish, gentlemen, this is my answer. I don't marry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people marry. I help to support the establishments you have mentioned. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, they will better do it and decrease the surplus population. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Seeing clearly that it will be useless to pursue their point, the gentleman left. Meanwhile, the fog and darkness thickened. The cold became intense. In the main street, around the fire, ragged men and women were gathered together, warming their hearts before the blaze in rapture. The hour of shutting up the county house has arrived. With an ill will, Scrooge saw his clerk, who instantly snuffed his candle out and put on his hat. You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient and it's not fair. If I was to stop, have a crown for it, you think yourself ill-used? I'll be bound? But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here early next morning. Scrooge took his melancholy dinner in his melancholy tavern and went to bed. He lived in chambers which had once belonged to his deceased friend, Marley. There were a gloomy suite of rooms, dreary enough for nobody live in it but Scrooge. The yard was dark, that even Scrooge, that knew its every stone, was fain to grope with his hands. The fog and frost so hung about the black old gateway of the house. Now it is a fact that there was nothing at all particular about the knocker on the door, Scrooge had seen it night and morning during his whole residence in that place. So, how it happened that Scrooge, having his key in the lock of the door, saw in the knocker, not a knocker, but Marley's ghost. Marley's face, it was not angry, but looked as Scrooge as Marley used to look, with ghostly spectacles turned up on his ghostly forehead. As Scrooge looked fixedly at this phenomenon, it was a knocker again. To say that he was not startled or that his blood was not conscious of a terrible sensation will be untrue. But put his hand upon the key he had relinquished, turned it sturdily, and walked in and lighted his candle. He shut the door with a bang. The sound resounded through the house like thunder. Up the stairs Scrooge went, but before he shut his heavy door, he walked through the rooms to see that all was right. He took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown and slippers, and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel.
It was a very low fire indeed. Nothing on such a bitter night. He was obliged to sit close to it and brood over it before he could extract the least sensation of warmth from such a handful of fuel. The fireplace was an old one, paved all around with tiles, designed to illustrate the scriptures. There were Cain's and Abel's, Pharaoh's daughters. He threw his head back in the chair.
Clacking noise had begun deep down below, as if some person were dragging a heavy chain over the casks in the wine merchant's cellar. He heard the noise much louder on the floors below. They're coming up the stairs. They're coming up straight towards his door. The door flew open with a booming sound. Its color changed. Marley's ghost. How now? What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley. You don't believe in me?
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomachs make them cheat. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a plot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug, I say, humbug. At this, the spirit raised a frightful cry. He shook its chains. The chain he drew was collapsed about his middle. It was long and wound about him like a tail, and it was made of cash boxes, keys, padlocks, ledgers, deeds, and heavy purses wrought in steel. His body was transparent, so that Scrooge, observing him, could look through him. Scrooge fell upon his knees and clasped his hand before his face. "Mercy, dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?"
Man of the worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
"I do, I must. But why do spirits walk the earth? And why do they come to me?"
We're doomed to wander through the world. Oh, woe is me, and witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth, and turned to happiness. I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, and yard by yard. I girded it with on my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you?
Jacob, old Jacob Marley, speak me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond our counting house. Mark me. In life, my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hall, and weary journeys lie before me. 7 years dead, no rest, no peace, incessant torture of remorse.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business. Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, and benevolence were all my business. Hear me. My time is nearly gone.
I will, but don't be hard upon me, Jacob.
I'm here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate, Ebenezer. You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
The apparition walked backwards. Towards the window. Scrooge followed him, desperate in his curiosity. He looked out. Marley flew out of the window. The air was filled with phantoms, wandering hither and thither in restless haste, and moaning as they went. Every one of them wore chains like Marley's ghost. Some few, they might be guilty governments, were linked together. None were free. They and their spirit voices faded together, and the night became as it had been when he walked home. Scrooge closed the window. He tried to say humbug, but he stopped at the first syllable. He went straight to bed without undressing and fell asleep upon the instant at this lateness of the hour. When Scrooge awoke, he turned to the clock. It was past 2 when he went to bed. The clock was wrong. An icicle must have gone into the works. It was 1. The curtain of his bed were drawn suddenly by a hand, I tell you. As Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child, like an old man, viewed through some supernatural medium. The strangest thing about it was that from the crown of its head there sprang a bright, clear jet of light, and it had a great extinguisher for a cap. "Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold to me. I am. The voice was soft and gentle, singularly low, as if instead of being so close beside him, it were at a distance. Who are you, and what are you then? I'm the ghost of Christmas past. Long past. Your past. What business brings you here? Your welfare. Rise and walk with me. Touch my hand. He rose as the words were spoken. They passed through the wall and stood upon an open country road with fields on either hand. The city entirely vanished. The darkness and the mist had vanished with it, for it was a clear, cold winter day with snow upon the ground. Good heaven, I was bred in that place. They left the high road and soon approached a mansion of dull and red brick. There was a chilly bareness in the place. They went across the hall. At the back of the house, it enclosed a long, bare, melancholy room. At one of these, a lonely boy was reading by a feeble fire, and Scrooge wept to see his poor, forgotten self as he used to be. A solitary child was left here alone. Poor boy. Let us see another Christmas. It was Christmas time again, but it was evening, and the streets were lighted up. The ghost stopped at a certain warehouse door and asked Scrooge if he knew it. Know it, I was apprenticed here. They went in. Scrooge cried in great excitement. It's old Fezziwig! Bless his heart! It's Fezziwig alive again! Old Fezziwig laid down his pen, looked up at the clock which pointed at the hour of 7. He rubbed his hand and called out in a comfortable, oily, rich, fat, jovial voice, Yo-ho! No more work tonight! It's Christmas Eve! Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's have the shutters up. Hilly-ho, hilly-ho, cheer up, Ebenezer. Clear away. And the workhouse was a snug and warm and dry and bright and ballroom, as you will desire to see upon a winter's night. In came a pianist with his music book and went up to the piano. Many guests came in, and there were more dances, and there was a cake, and there was a great piece of cold roast, and there were mince pies, and plenty of beer. Then old Fezziwig stood out to dance with Miss Fezziwig. Yo-ho, cheer up, Ebenezer, it's Christmas Eve, let's dance. said the spirit. Again, Scrooge saw himself older now, a man in the prime of life. He was not alone, but sat by the side of a fair young girl, in whose eyes there were tears, which sparkled in the light that shone out of the ghost of Christmas past. It matters little to you, very little. Another idol has displaced me.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
There is nothing so hard as poverty.
You fear the world too much. I've seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one, until the master passion, wealth, engrosses you. Have I not?
I'm not changed toward you, am I?
You are changed. When our love contract was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
That which promised happiness when we were one in heart, now is full with misery. Now that we're two, I can't release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words, no, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, tell me now, would you choose a doubtless girl? You who weigh everything by gain, I release you with a full heart for the love of him you once were. May you be happy in the life you've chosen. She left him and they parted. Spirit, show me no more. Contact me home. Why do you delight to torture me? Remove me. I cannot bear it. Leave me. Haunt me no longer. Scrooge observed that the light of the spirit was burning high and bright. He seized the extinguisher cap and by sudden action pressed it down upon its head. He pressed it down with all his force. The spirit dropped beneath it. He was conscious of being exhausted and in his own bedroom. He had barely time to reel to bed before he sank into a heavy sleep. Awaking in the middle of a prodigiously tough snore and sitting up in bed to get his thoughts together, Scrooge had no occasion to be told that the bell was again upon the stroke of one. A strange voice called him by his name and bade him enter. Ebenezer Scrooge, enter! He obeyed. It was his own room, but had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceilings were so hung with living green that it looked like a perfect grove, from every part of which bright gleaming berries was glistened. The crisp leaves of holly, mistletoe and ivy reflected the light, as if so many little mirrors had been scattered there, and such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney. heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne where turkeys, geese, game, poultry, brawn, great joints of meat, sucking pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, cherry-cheeked apples, juicy oranges, luscious pears, immense 12 cakes, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In his estate, upon this couch, there sat a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch and held it up, high up, to shed its light on Scrooge as he came peeping round the door. Come in, I'm the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. Scrooge reverently did so. The ghost was clothed in one simple green robe or mantle, bordered with white fur. You have never seen the like of me before. Never. Have you ever met my elder brothers born in these later years? I don't think I have. I'm afraid I have not. Have you had many brothers, Spirit? More than 1,800? A tremendous family to provide for, muttered Scrooge. Touch my robe. All vanished instantly. So did the room, the fire, the ratting low, the hour of the night, and they stood in the city streets on Christmas morning. The Spirit stopped to bless Bob Cratchit's house with the sprinkling of his torch. The dinner was all done, the cloth was cleared, the hearth swept, and the fire made up. There was never such a goose, such a wonderful pudding. Then all the Cratchit family drew around the hearth while the chestnuts on the fire sputtered and cracked noisily. The Bob proposed, "A Merry Christmas to us all, my dear. God bless us." "God bless us all," said Tiny Tim, the last of all. "Spirit," said Scrooge, "tell me if Tiny Tim will live." "I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crunch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die." "No, no, kind Spirit, say he will spared." "What then? If he be like to die, he had better do it, and decrease the surplus population." Scrooge hung his head to hear his own words quoted by the Spirit, and was overcome with penitence and grief as they left. By this time, it was getting dark and snowing pretty heavily. And as Scrooge and the Spirit went along the streets, the brightness of roaring fires in kitchens, parlors, and all sorts of rooms was wonderful. Scrooge heard a hearty laugh. It was a great surprise to Scrooge to recognize it and his own nephews, Fred, and to find himself in a bright, dry, gleaming room with the Spirit standing smiling in his sight and looking at the same nephew, Fred, with approving affability. Him and his company were playing games, and one of them called Yes and No, where Scrooge's nephew had to think of something, and the rest must find out what. He only answered it with questions, yes or no, as the case was. The brisk fire of questioning to which he has exposed elicited from him that he was thinking of an animal, a live animal, rather a disagreeable animal, a savage animal, an animal that growled and grunted sometimes, and talked sometimes, and lived in London, and walked about the streets, and wasn't made a show of, and wasn't led by anybody, and didn't live in a menagerie, and was never killed in the market, and was not a horse, or an ass, or a cow, or a bull, or a tiger, or a dog, or a pig, or a cat, or a bear. The plump sister cried out, "I have found it! I know what it is, Fred! I know what it is! What is it?" said Fred. "It's your uncle, Scrooge!" "Yes," cried Fred, "my uncle Scrooge. He has given us plenty of merriment, and it will be ungrateful not to drink to his health. Here a glass of malt wine, red in our hand at the moment. And I say, Uncle Scrooge, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year." The whole scene passed off. In the breath of the last words spoken by his nephew, and he and the spirit were again upon their travels. It was a long night. It was 11:15 at that moment. Spirit, forgive me if I'm not justified of what I ask, but I see something strange and not belonging to yourself protruding from your skirts. Is it a foot or a claw? From the foldings of his robe, it brought two children. Wretched, abject, frightful, hideous, miserable. They were a boy and a girl. Yellow, ragged, scowling, wolfish. Spirit, are they yours? They are man's, and they cling to me, appealing for their fathers. This boy's ignorance, the girl is want. Beware them both, and all of their degree, but most of all, beware this boy, for on his brow I see that written which is doom, unless the writing be erased. Have they no refuge or resource? Are there no prisons and workhouses? Said the spirit, turning on him for the last time with his own words. The bell struck 12. Scrooge looked about him for the ghost and saw it not. As the last stroke ceased to vibrate, he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley. Lifting up his eyes, beheld a solemn phantom, draped and hooded, coming like a mist along the ground towards him. The phantom slowly, gravely, silently approached. When it came near him, Scrooge bent down upon his knee, for in the very air through which this spirit moved, it seemed to scatter gloom and mystery. It was shrouded in a deep black garment which concealed its head, its face, its form, and left nothing of it visible save one outstretched hand. Am I in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come? The spirit answered not, but pointed onward with his hand. You're about to show me shadows of the things that could not have happened, but will happen in the time before us. No answer. Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, as I hope to live to be another man, I'm prepared to bear you company. Will you not speak to me? It gave him no reply. That hand was pointed straight before them. Lead on, spirit, the night is waning fast, and it's precious time to me, I know. Lead on, spirit. The phantom moved away as it had come towards him. Scrooge followed in the shadow of his dress, which brought him up, he thought, and carried him along. They entered the city. The spirit stopped beside one little knot of businessmen. Observing that the hand was pointed to them, Scrooge advanced to listen to their talk.
No, I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What he's done with his money?
He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
It's likely to be very cheap funeral. For upon my life, I don't know of anybody to go to it. Suppose we make a party and volunteer.
I don't mind if there is lunch provided.
Scrooge knew the men and looked towards the spirit for an explanation. The phantom glided on into a street and went into an obscure part of the town where Scrooge had never walked before. The ways were narrow and foul, the shops and houses wretched, the people half naked, drunken, slipshod, ugly, the whole quarter reeked with crime, with filth and misery. Far in this den of infamous resort, there was a low-browed beetling shop. Below a penthouse, when iron, old rags, bottles, bones, and greasy offal were bought. "Now undo my bundle, Joe," said a woman. Joe unfastened a great many knots, dragged out a large and heavy roll of some dark stuff, bed curtains and blankets.
His blankets?
Who else do you think? He's unlikely to take cold with them, I dare say.
I hope he didn't die of anything catching, eh? Is that his shirt?
It's the best he had, and a fine one too. If it hadn't been for me, it had been wasted.
What do you call wasting of it?
Putting it on him to be buried in, to be sure. Somebody was fool enough to put it, but I took it off again. He can't look uglier than he did in that one. Scrooge listened to this dialogue in horror. He viewed them as obscene demons, marketing the corpse itself. This is the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away from him when he was alive to profit us when he was dead. Spirit, I see, the case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life tends that way now. Merciful heaven, what is this? He recoiled in terror, for the scene had changed. The room was so dark. A pale light rising in the outer air fell straight upon the bed, and on it, plundered, bereft, unwatched, unwept, uncared for, was the body of this man there was a sound of gnawing rats beneath the hearthstone. Scrooge glanced towards the phantom. His steady hand was pointed to the head.
O cold, cold, rigid, dreadful death, set up thine altar here, and dress it with such terrors as thou hast at thy command. For this is thy dominion.
For this is but of the loved river and on our head. It is not that the hand is heavy and will fall down when released. It is not that the heart and pulse are still, but that the hand was open, generous and true, and heart brave, warm and tender, and the pulse a man's. Strike, shadow, strike, and see his good deed springing from the wound, to show the world with life immortal. Spirit, this is a frightful place. In leaving it, I shall not leave its lesson. Trust me. Let us go now. Still the ghost pointed with an unmoved hand to the head. I understand you, and I will do it if I could, but I have not the power. Spirit, I have not the power. If there's any person in the town who feels emotion caused by this man's death, Spirit, show that person to me, I beseech you. The only emotion that the ghost could show him, caused by this event, was one of the pleasure. The ghost conducted him through several streets familiar to his feet. They entered poor Bob Cratchit's house. It was quiet, very quiet. The noisy little Cratchits were still statues in one corner. Surely they were very quiet. Bob entered and was very cheerful with them and spoke pleasantly to all of the family. You went today there, Robert, said his wife. Yes, my dear. I wish you could have gone. It could have done you good to see how green the place it is. But you'll see it often. I promise Tiny Tim that I will walk there on a Sunday. My little child. My little child. However, when and whenever we part from one another, I'm sure we shall none of us forget poor Tiny Tim. Never, father, cried they all, and they hanged. Scrooge remained in silence. And then, ghost, something informed me that our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. Tell me, what man that was we saw lying dead? The phantom pointed as before until they reached an iron gate, a churchyard. The spirit stood among the graves and pointed down to one. Before I draw nearer to that stone to which you point, said Scrooge, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be? Or are they shadows of things that may be only? The spirit was immovable as ever. Scrooge crept towards it, trembling as he went, and following the finger, read upon the stone of the neglected grave, Ebenezer Scrooge. Am I that man who lay upon the bed? The finger pointed from the grave to him and back again. No, spirit, no, hear me. I'm not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been, but for this interaction. Why show me all this if I am past of any hope? Assure me that I yet may change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut the lesson that they teach. Oh, tell me, I may sponge away the writing on this stone. In his agony, he caught the spectral hand, holding up his hand in a last prayer to ask his fate reserved. He saw an alteration in the phantom hood and dress. It shrunk, collapsed, and dwindled down into a bedpost. And yes, the bedpost was his own, the bed was his own, the room was his own. Best the happier of all, time before him was his own to make amends in. I'm as light as a feather, I'm as happy as an angel, I'm as merry as a schoolboy, I'm as giddy as a drunken man. Hello to everyone, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I don't know what the day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything, I'm quite a baby. Never mind, I don't care, never mind, I don't care. Never mind, I don't care, never mind, I don't care. I'd rather be a baby, I'd rather be a baby. Merry Christmas to everyone. The churches ringing out the lastiest peals he had ever heard. Running to the window, he opened it and put out his head. No fog, no mist, golden sunlight, heavenly sky, sweet fresh air, merry bells. Oh, glorious, glorious. Was today my day, my fine fellow? Said Scrooge, calling downwards to a boy in Sunday clothes. Today is Christmas Day. It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they want, of course. My fine fellow, do you know the poultress in the next street at the corner? I hope I did, replied the boy. What an intelligent boy. What a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there, the big one? What? The one that is as big as me? Yes, my buck. It's hanging there now, sir. Go and buy it and tell them to bring it here. I may give them the address where to take it. Come back with the man and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. The boy was off like a shot. I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's. He should know who sends it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Then Scrooge dressed himself all in his best and got out into the streets. Good morning, sir. Merry Christmas. Good morning. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas to you. Good morning, sir. How are you today? Good morning, sir. How are you? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Merry Christmas to you. I wish you all the best. Merry Christmas. He walked about the streets and watched the people hurrying to and fro, and patted children on the head and questioned beggars. And in the afternoon, he turned his steps towards his nephew's house. Fred?
Bless my soul, who's that?
It's I, your Uncle Scrooge. I have come to dinner. Will you let me in, Fred?
Of course, come in, Uncle.
Wonderful party, wonderful games, wonderful happiness. Then he was at home in 5 minutes. Nothing could be heartier. But he was at the office next morning, early. The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past. No Bob Cratchit. He was full 18 minutes and a half behind his time. What do you mean by coming here at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir. I'm behind my time.
You are, and I think you are. Step this way, sir, if you
It's
please.
only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making myself rather merry yesterday.
Now I'll tell you what, my friend. I'm not going to stand this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I'm about to raise your salary. Merry Christmas, Bob. Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim that he did not die, he was a second father. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh and little heeded them, for he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happened on this globe for good, at which some people did not have their fill of laughter in the outset. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. He had no further interactions with spirits, and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well. May that be truly to all of us. And so as Tiny Tim observed, my fellow passengers, God bless us, everyone. I want to thank you, Elena Michailidi, that she was an angel for today. Vasya Pinika for her help. Georgios Nicolaou for his help and his patience. And the Hellenic Centre, of course, for hosting our performance. And now we can sing all together. You have the lyrics in Greek and English, so... Έλα. Oh my God. This is Χαρούλα.
Πάμε. Ελένα. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Peace on earth and mercy smile, God and sinner reconciled. Joyful all the nation rise, joyful honor of the skies. With angelic voice proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. With angelic voice proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Οι τρεις μάγοι φτάνουν τώρα από χώρα μακρινή, στο Χριστό προσφέρουν δώρα και ανυμνούν με μια φωνή. Όσανα εν της υψής της του ουρανού και γης ο κτίστης, εγεννήθηκε στη γη, μες της νύχτας στη σιγή. Εγεννήθηκε στη γη, μες της νύχτας στη σιγή. I can't hear you.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. Σωρό χιόνια στα γυροκλόνια, κάλαντα κι όνειρα γλυκά. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, all is so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Αρχή μηνιά κι αρχή χρονιά, φίλοι μου δέντρο λιβάνια, κι αρχή καλός μασόνος, εκκλησιά, εκκλησιά μετάλλει ο θρόνος.
Άγιος Βασίλης έρχεται κι όλους μας καταδέχεται. Από την Κεσαρία συσσαρκώ Χριστός εισέρχονται σαν κυρία.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, Christ the Lord. Sing choirs of angels, sing in exaltation, and sing, O ye citizens of heavens above. Glory to God, all glory in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, Christ the Lord. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, yo espero
año y felicidad.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, yo espero año y felicidad. I'm gonna wish you a Merry Christmas. I'm gonna wish you a Merry Christmas. I'm gonna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I'm gonna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Καλήν εσπέρα σας πω, Τζαν είναι χωρισμός σας, Χριστού τη Θεία γέννηση, να πω στα αρχοντικό σας. Χριστός γεννιέται σήμερον, εν Βιθλεέμ την πόλην, οι ουρανοί αγαλώνται, μαζί κι η φύσης όλη. Χρόνια πολλά να ζήσετε, να είστε ευτυχισμένοι, και στο κορμί και στην ψυχή να είσαστε
εμπλουμισμένοι. Και του χρόνου. Μπράβο, αγαπητοί μου.